can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
And hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're at, all across this great nation of ours and around the world. It is that time for the Conservative Syndicate. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we are here to do one more day, do what we do best on this show, and that's to educate, inform, and engage you, our listening audience, on the politics of religion and the religion of politics. And it's become epidemic. Politics these days are epidemic, and it's just wiping people out left and right, if I can use that type of typology or terminology. And we're just doing our best to eradicate the disease of liberalism. That's our mission in life. And as I said, we do it. I think we do very well with what we do. And the people that we have some good people here at the Conservative Syndicate, and these people are out in the trenches day after day doing the work, doing the real work. And we're just glad to have you with us this afternoon. And I guess I want to kick off. I want to get Joe in here. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm just lazy American Joe. That's me, John. I'm just a lazy American, buddy. Just kicking back, being lazy.
Yeah, just reaping the benefits of that entitlement brings by being an American.
Yes, just sucking in and just like a sponge, that great American education system that the government's given us. I'm just soaking it all in, just sopping it up like some gravy on bread.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're copying that attitude like our former President Bill Clinton. We are the Robin Hoods of the world. We steal from the rich and give to the rich, that kind of thing. I bring that up because Bill Clinton is trying to defend the Clinton Foundation and doing it in only a way a Clinton could do it.
Yeah.
And that is by one, kind of laughing it off, making jokes about it, and of course pointing to that vast right-wing conspiracy that has just constantly been out there since birth. The vast right-wing conspiracy must have formed sometime after Hillary Clinton left the Barry Goldwater campaign. And,
it had to. It had to be that. To be that.
Yeah.
Could have happened when she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary.
Yeah, definitely, without doubt. And
that was like 5 years after she was born, though. So maybe it wasn't that.
Yeah, and she had that life-changing moment meeting Sal Alinsky. While at Wellesley, was that the name of the school she was at?
I don't. I never paid attention to these communistic,
some girls' school
of just fun and desire.
Yeah, I guess one of them colleges, I guess, that were supposed to breed good women of moral stature. Instead, they started turning out liberal neo-Nazis like Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren and people like that.
People that love to kill babies, isn't it outstanding? That's what they could learn there.
Well, there's a note for you. I caught like 5 minutes on Labor Day. I spent like 5 minutes watching this. CNN had two specials on. It was called the Essential Clinton, and it was a 2-hour thing on Clinton. And then they had the Essential Donald Trump. I didn't watch anything on Trump, and I only caught a few minutes of Clinton just because I was channel surfing and happened to see it. So I stopped for a few minutes. And of course they were interviewing. They're giving Hillary all these softball questions about, being a mother and a grandmother. And the part I happened to catch was they were interviewing Chelsea Clinton. and she was telling everybody just how sweet and generous and loving and nice her mom is. This, that, and the other. And I'm going, yeah, well, the witch doesn't fall very far from the tree.
Yeah, and it's a good thing she made it out of the womb. Otherwise, she could have died.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a girl who has been paid salaries in the six figures.
Oh, yeah, for being so outstanding. I mean, Hillary is, Margaret Sanger just impressed the hell out of her. So
yeah,
Chelsea's just lucky to be alive. And and she can make a fortune just by her last name.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. The salaries that Chelsea Clinton has pulled in at places like MSNBC is just because of her name. It's just we can say we have Hillary Clinton. It's like saying, oh yeah, we have the great civil rights leader Al Sharpton with us. And it's like, yeah, and you listen to the guy talk, and it's like, yeah, what drugs is he smoking?
Oh, gee, yeah, exactly. That's it. And Jesse, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Yeah, and I'm the Pope.
Yeah, I've been listening. The Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton have been around since the days of the Black Panther Party. That's actually, they were part of Martin Luther King's civil rights movement. But I found it noting in the movie Selma. In the movie Selma, there is no mention whatsoever of the Reverend Jesse Jackson or the Reverend Al Sharpton at all. You would think there would have been at least, that maybe one of the characters in the room, that kind of stuff. No mention, nothing, zip, nada. And I'm sitting there thinking, and the girl who wrote the screenplay and directed this thing, she's about as radical as they come. I mean, this girl could be a poster girl for Black Lives Matter. And she left out the great Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton out of that movie for some reason. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know. But, if you want to see a documentary, go see The Summer of Freedom. Try to look that one up, and that'll give you an idea of just some of the people that you might see on television today. Elijah Cummings.
Oh, yeah, Elijah Cummings. And what's the other guy? The guy that's heading the Black Caucus in the Congress now. He led the sit-in in Congress. I can't remember his name. But he was part of the Reverend Martin Luther King movement and civil rights movement and everything. And now he looks like a pit bull. He's one of these guys, he's got so many. His face is so swollen that it's like you don't even see his eyes. It's just amazing. Yeah, I guess it's good to be in Congress. You get to eat all you want, all the shrimp you can eat, that kind of thing. But Bill Clinton, back to this thing with Bill Clinton here. Bill Clinton on Monday said the Republican attacks on his family's foundation were funny. Ha 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 ha. And likened his actions as head of the organization to Robin Hood's. They even went after my foundation, his foundation, by the way, last week. Now, that was really funny. He says, I was sort of Robin Hood, except I didn't rob anybody. I just asked people with money to give it to the people who didn't have money. No, you didn't. You asked people with money to give money so that you could return favors to people with money.
Yeah, so you could get mining contracts. So you could get uranium deals done. So, well, gee, Bill, what were you doing back in '96, Bill, when you were getting money from the Chinese military?
Yeah. So, and here's the thing. The way the Clintons, like I said, they're handling this the typical way the Clintons do. We've pretty much got everything we want right now. So if Hillary gets elected president, Bill will step down as the head of the foundation. But the writers over at The Hill, I said, there's so many ways around that. It's not even worth talking about. He said, when we had, as one of them said, we have a president that when that 3 a.m. phone call comes, we have an ethically challenged president on the line who took truckloads of cash from other countries.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, gee, okay. And what's funny is the emails that were released out of the State Department had remember when the metadata thing was with the NSA was out there, and they said, don't worry about metadata, it's not that important, and people were freaking out about it. Yeah, and the government says it's not important, right? Yeah, well, all this metadata from these emails from Hillary's server were scrubbed of all the metadata. Why is that metadata so important then that they had to scrub it?
Yeah, now I'm hearing talk that there was like up to 13 phones used, not 4 like the FBI said, and they were actually destroyed with hammers.
Hammer time.
Like, okay, why do you got to destroy a phone with a hammer for? Maybe somebody been watching Lindsey Graham videos or something. I don't know.
She didn't go at him with Swiffer dusters.
Actually, maybe that's what Hillary should do. Everybody's questioning her health. Maybe what we should do is do a video and have her T-balling cell phones with a baseball bat. Put them on and let's show us your swing. Let's show us you still got the stamina to do it.
Well, as long as I'll watch that if she's wearing a little French maid costume. Okay.
Oh yeah, well, thanks. I needed that image.
Yeah, that ought to get us to a break.
Anyway, we got to go to break. When we come back, I'm going to revisit the Barack Obama, Rodrigo Duterte, and now Hillary Clinton war of the words out there, because it's going to lead into a bigger subject. This is going to be an evolving subject. I hate to use that word because it doesn't mean what it used to, but we're going to try to evolve our conversation today and expound on not only, last week we talked a lot about Hillary Clinton's and Bill Clinton's immigration reform. I want to talk about it in the context of civil rights and the Black Lives Matter and everything that the left says they're going to do once again 6 decades later for the black community. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back. A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Okay, we're back, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I am your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and I want to kind of begin our little evolution process today. You know, we just got done talking about Bill Clinton and his Robin Hood, a Robin Hood Clinton style, Robin Hood leftist style, rob from the rich and give to the rich, and return favors and everything else. Yeah, I'll ask you for money, and then you hire me to give $1 million speech, and you pay me for that, and you'll give me money on top of that. And then I'll do favors for you, because my wife's got the in, man. She's the one sitting out there. She's got the go button. She's got that go button, get it done kind of thing. And there's and the reason I kind of bring this up is we didn't spend a whole lot of time last week talking about Trump's speech out in Detroit. No, we didn't. And we didn't talk very much about him visiting a black church, for lack of a better phrase. I'd like to think that it was, we could just call churches churches, but in this day and age, everything is divided and labeled as such. So, at a black church last week, we didn't talk too much about that because we wanted to focus on his immigration thing. It looks like that when we start looking at numbers, I saw some polls today. Again, I'm not putting too much. Actually, virtually no weight behind polls, but the fact that I don't know, the media has suddenly shifted into reporting that in some cases Trump has actually taken a lead. I think there was a poll that came out, Mason-Dixon poll, okay, and I guess amongst pollsters, this is kind of a respected publication or a respected poll center, and they have Trump up by like 8 points right now. And, I'm still not putting any stock in that because, as we pointed out last week, the media manipulates the polls for different reasons than we think they do. Other than, we think right off the top, okay, they're manipulating the poll to help the left. Okay, well, yeah, they are to a certain degree. But you got to also understand that one of the things that the media wants to do and does on a regular basis is sensationalize everything. So that, of course, you'll buy their papers and you'll watch their news programs and you'll visit their websites. Because, it's all about advertising, whether you're in the media or not. I mean, we're in the media here, and we want advertising. We want to be able to pay bills. We want to make some money. There's nothing. I once had somebody dress me down over that. What, you mean you do what you do to make money? And I'm like, well, I'm a capitalist. Oh, yeah, but it's the movement. It's all about the movement. Yeah, I'm trying to move the balance in my checking account, for sure.
Gee, for crying out loud, get over it.
Yeah, the amount of time I spend doing this, the amount of time Joe and I put into what we do, there's nothing wrong with us getting compensated for what we do. This isn't a public service, and we're not journalists. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was reviewing here. I'm kind of going off topic here, but I'm going to go with this, okay? I was looking at an article. I was actually going to talk about it. I'm just going to mention it briefly here, but I was going to talk about it in depth on Monday, but we really wanted to get the Trump thing out of the way. And an article came out on Sunday, the top 24 paid journalists, okay, and what they were making. All right.
It's not me. I can tell you that right now. It's not me.
No, I can tell you right now, it's not me. Okay, and my big joke is between me and Rush Limbaugh, we make $30 million a year, and I can guarantee you who's making more than I am, and we have virtually made nothing on this show in the 9 years we've been on the air. We've made a little bit here and there, but my motivation is the message. But I'm not against making money while I'm giving the message. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I'm all for that, John. If you're out there right now and you'd like to donate to John and Joe, please contact us at theconservativesyndicate.net.
Yeah, feel free to lose. Let go of a couple dollars. Just think of us the next time you buy Starbucks. Okay. All right, Starbucks supports the homosexual movement, and you're paying them $5 a clip every time you buy their coffee. All right, just do something for yourself. Make yourself feel good. In fact, if you're a liberal out there listening, and you guys are into that warm, fuzzy feeling all the time, and doing stuff good to make you feel all warm and fuzzy, you can feel warm and fuzzy by putting money in my bank account. Okay, and you'll make me feel warm and fuzzy, and we'll all be warm and fuzzy. Okay, so that's just great. Great.
I'm going to be just like the Obama administration. I only want unmarked bills, straight up cash.
Yeah,
okay?
You can give me foreign currency. I know how to exchange foreign currency. Okay,
no problem. I don't want it to be able to be traced anywhere. So that's how. Okay, we're really getting off the topic here.
Yeah, but don't pay me in yen. Anything but yen. Okay, all right.
Now with something worth something.
What was I talking? Oh, yeah, top paid journalists out there, okay? And you would think that it would be somebody like, just take a guess, Joe. I don't know if you know the answer here, but just take a guess. Who do you think the number one highest paid journalist is in America today?
Highest paid journalist?
Yeah. Well, they use the word journalist. We know that doesn't mean that, but that's what they call it. So the one making the most money right now out of all the journalists that are out there. Just guess.
No, I don't have I don't have a guess for that. I really don't, because who the hell is a journalist?
Yeah, I know that. It kind of knocked my socks off. At first I thought it would be somebody like Bill O'Reilly or Megyn Kelly or somebody like that. Bill O'Reilly, I think, was at number 3 or 4.
He's a journalist. See, that's the reason why I've drawn a blank.
Yeah. Well, they're all in one pot these days. Okay. But what did fascinate me was Rachel Maddow gets paid about $8 million a year. Lawrence O'Donnell was like $6 million a year. Megyn Kelly, I think, is at $13 million a year. Robin, what's her name? Robin at ABC. I don't know her last name. The one that had breast cancer, the black girl. She's on with Stephanopoulos all the time.
Yeah, I know who you mean, but I don't.
Yeah. I forget her last name. I know her first name is Robin. She makes $13 million. Okay?
Well, good for her.
Yeah, and Stephanopoulos makes about $8 million. The number one paid journalist under that title in America is Matt Lauer, and he makes $33 million a year. Okay, now that tells you something. When you can pay somebody that kind of money to be a dolt, and you get, and that's why he was chosen, I think, as the first moderator of the debates coming up between Trump and Hillary Clinton.
I think that's tonight, isn't it?
Is that tonight?
Yes, I do believe it is, John.
What's the date today? Today's the 7th. I for some reason, I thought it was on a double-digit date, like next 13th or something like that.
It might be tonight, my brother.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be good. And so we'll get to see the highest-paid journalist come out here and try to catch Trump in a gotcha moment, and that's what's going to happen. That's what he's going to try to do.
Well, that'll be obvious. And the guy that really, a lot of those guys bug me, but it doesn't bug me because I don't go near that network because they don't have a need for me to go near that network. And sometimes I see that one guy on TV, and he's so darn smart. He's so smug. Is that Juan Williams guy? He's making 6 figures a year at least, doing the stupidest things I ever heard of.
Well, you would think that Juan Williams would be able to claim the title of the token journalist at Fox News so that they could say not everybody's white. But I think he's just a token liberal. Him and then the other guy, Geraldo Rivera, Oh my goodness! I mean,
I think they are a token on that bong.
Yeah, they are tokens, and they're tokens for their ideology, not their color. But it's just Juan Williams. I mean, the only guy I know that I hear consistently in the media that I hear, because I'm not talking about people like Chris Matthews or Lawrence O'Donnell, because I don't hear them because I don't listen to them. But people that I do hear is Juan Williams and Paul Krugman.
Oh, yeah, there's another one.
Yeah, this guy, if you look up the word lunatic, you'll find, you look up the word asshat, you're going to see Paul Krugman's picture there. I mean, this guy, I was reading his latest column in the New York Times defending Hillary Clinton and her email problems. And, he is on board with the right-wing conspiracy kind of stuff. And he was trying to relay the idea that George W. Bush was more corrupt than Hillary Clinton. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. George W. Bush didn't have the brains to be as corrupt as Hillary Clinton. Although I'm sure I look at George W. Bush as part of the establishment. And I'm sure, he's made his money off of people just like every other establishment type. But one thing I will not say about George W. Bush is that he was openly corrupt in the way that Hillary Clinton is. Yeah, Bush wasn't selling favors to anybody. There's no history of that whatsoever.
Yeah, Bush didn't have a private email server specifically designed to keep people from finding out about what the individual was doing with a quote-unquote nonprofit organization that they had set up in their name so they can make millions upon millions of dollars from. No, I don't think George Bush ever did anything like that.
No, I question whether George Bush knew how to use emails. Okay, so I'm not, but it's just amazing. Anyway, that's about a roundabout way of getting to where I want to go here. You'll make the connection if you think about it for a moment. The ongoing war of the words between Rodrigo Duterte and Barack Obama during the G20 summit that was going on over in Laos, over in Vietnam. And what it turned out to be is this Duterte guy is he's a unique individual. Not that he's really, I don't think he's the sharpest knife in the drawer. I mean, I'm in no way sitting there saying, oh, yeah, this guy is going to be a great president for the Philippines. I'm not sure at this point because he is probably everything Barack Obama wants to be. Okay, he comes out and he says, this is what I'm going to do. And he doesn't care if the Senate likes it. He doesn't care if the House of Representatives likes it. He doesn't care if anybody likes it. As long as my people like it, I'm going to do it.
Well, that is Obama.
And that is Obama, okay? But he does it with a very confrontational. He's like, I think one of the reasons Barack Obama doesn't like Donald Trump and people like Duterte, people like this, and Putin, is because they say things and they say what they believe the way they believe it. Barack Obama can't do that because if he really came out and talked the way he wanted to, yeah, you'll find out in just a few moments here because Joe's got something here he's going to share with you. But if Barack Obama is let loose, if he's among people where he feels safe that he can say what he wants to say, he really would say something along the lines of, America is a racist nation, and damn it, I'm going to change this, and we're going to get rid of all these crackers. And I mean, he would be out there full blast. And I bet you when he's hanging out drinking his home brew and talking with the boys in the bathhouses out there in Chicago, I bet you that's how he talks. Okay? So anyway, so there's this thing that's going on, and the big thing I wanted to bring up about it is that Hillary Clinton has now entered into the narrative, and she's talking about how Duterte treated Obama with disrespect and insulted our president and all this, that, and the other, right? Well, think about a couple of remarks that that Obama made towards Duterte when he was asked about this. He said something along the lines of, well, he's a colorful character. That was his reference. Okay, that is a condescending remark. Mm-hmm. You're recognizing this guy as the leader of some banana republic. He's not really even worth talking about. He's a colorful character. that kind of thing. And now what's happening is some of the people in the White House are saying that, well, because he was just a former mayor. He was the mayor of Davao. He's trying to find his way.
Yeah, find his way in his job.
He's feeling his way into his new job. No, this is a man who has dealt with the problems that he's dealing with now ever since he was mayor, and he's been mayor for a long time. Unlike Obama, who's been nothing but a community organizer, who was allowed to elevate himself up into the highest position in the world right now. And this guy has dealt firsthand with the effects of drugs on that in the nation of the Philippines. And he has taken it head on, and he knows that the drugs are destroying the country. And he's, I'm not totally for everything he's doing, the way he's doing it. I'm for what he's doing, not the way he's doing it. But the point being is, Obama he's like, what's the phrase Sarah Palin used one time to describe, I forget, it was like a mosquito. It's just like a mosquito. Oh, Bill Mayer. It's like a mosquito. He just keeps buzzing around. Anyway, hey, we got to go to a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to go from there, and we're gonna talk about the comments that I made earlier about Obama over in Vietnam, and I'm going to let Joe share something with you I think you need to know. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Now, just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you. And they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
TheConservativeSyndicate.net. All right, hey, we're back. And you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Haklos. Hey, I want to close this little discussion up here just on the Duterte. I got to pronounce his name right. Rodrigo Duterte, the new president of the Philippines, was sworn in June of this year and immediately started what he calls a major campaign on crime and drugs in the Philippines. And it has resulted, I think there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,300 deaths now, vigilante style in some cases, about 900 of them through police intervention. You know, over in the Philippines, there's not a whole, they don't fire warning shots. Okay? If you pull a gun on a police officer or if you refuse to do what you're supposed to do, anything can happen. You've basically set yourself up. And if you're...
Well, you know what? That's true with most police throughout the world, you know? And in most places, people expect that if you point a gun at a cop, you would expect to get shot at.
Yeah, well, I tell
like
you...
in America, though...
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, in the Philippines... The PNP, they call them, the Philippine National Police.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, these people, this is nationalized police force, by the way.
They ain't playing.
Yeah, the Philippine National Police are a national police force. They're under they almost fall under the military.
That PNP, that's Filipinos not playing.
Yeah, and well, here's the deal. Out here, you know, when a cop pulls you over out here, and if there's any suspicion at all that there's something they have to be worried about, you'll see a cop walk up to a car with his hand on his gun in his holster, right?
Yeah. And
doesn't always pull the gun, but he'll have his hand there, all right? And the PNPs, they don't carry pistols. They carry M16s, okay? And when they walk up, you see them out on the streets out there. I've been over there, and you see them walking around. They've got these M16s strapped to them, and the reason being is because there's a reason for it. They have terrorism over there. They have the communists, the NPA, which just recently is responsible for a bombing in Davao, which happens to be the city that Duterte was the mayor of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Duterte knows what he's dealing with here. He's dealing with some major drug cartels coming out of China. Eight well-known cartels established from China over there, and he's just saying enough is enough. And we're not going to have any more, but, we're going to fix this. And we're going to, he's declared curfew over there. No, nothing after 10 o'clock. And I say Obama would love to be like this, to just come out and say, this is what's going to happen. You know, over in the Philippines now, after 10 o'clock, they will seize karaoke boxes. If you're out singing karaoke on your patio after 10 o'clock and somebody reports you to the barangay captain, they'll come and seize your box because he said that it's after 10 o'clock. People should be asleep, you know, that kind of stuff. So, so like I said, I'm not condoning this guy's actions. I'm just saying he is right in the sense that he can do what he wants to do in his country. And it's up to their people and their Senate and their Congress to take on whatever they wanted. You know, it's not up to
country. They elected him, so that's their problem.
And I mean a big election, 2-1. You know, he won twice as many votes as anybody else.
So over here, they would call that a mandate.
Yeah, I think you would. And he campaigned on this, so it's not like it was some big surprise. Okay.
So what's it like? Oh, he's changed his spots.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to. The reason I really brought this up is because I wanted to bring to your attention the words spoken by Hillary Clinton about this.
Yeah, please.
Okay. She came out. She finally conceded, I guess, and spoke to the press. Of course, she did it in an airplane, so I don't know how many people were present. Maybe 5 or 6. But she says the U.S. State Department and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton stressed the need for ties with the Philippines to be based on mutual respect after Manila's new leader raised worries about the future of the key alliance by calling President Barack Obama a son of a bitch. Okay? Okay, now he called the Pope a son of a whore.
Yes.
And he called, who was it, the other guy? State Department, there was somebody else.
It was the U.S. ambassador.
U.S. ambassador, the gay son of a whore. Like, oh, wow, okay. You talk about calling, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Now, but here's this is the key. This is why I'm talking about this. She says, Hillary Clinton, words matter. And we want to see an atmosphere that is cordial and open to strong cooperation. Think about it. Hillary Clinton is telling us words matter. Okay? I mean, and I immediately started thinking things like, like words like if you want to keep your doctor, you can. If you want to keep your plan, you can. Families will save $2,500 a year under my plan.
Or at this point, what difference does it make?
Yeah, or how about this? I turned over all work-related emails.
Yeah, exactly. I turned them up. Emails. I never had classified information on that server.
Yeah. So if you're gonna pitch the words matter mantra to me, you better look in the mirror first. That kind of thing. So that was really why I wanted to bring that up, because
good to see Hillary at the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's been lying to them all?
And the other comment here, one last comment here. I noticed during the article that I'm looking at, one of the articles I'm looking at here, this is by Arshad Muhammad at Reuters, okay? That sounds like an objective source. Anyway, he kept referring to the comments by the U.S. State Department and the Obama administration. For instance, just to weigh it here, the U.S. State Department and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, okay, he refers to somebody in the State Department as the official. And all throughout the article, we keep hearing this, the official said this, the official. And I'm like, why can you not name who these officials are? And what happened to anonymous source? Did he defect or something?
He couldn't get paid enough, so he went to the other side.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm getting at here is that I'm seeing more and more less mention of people being identified as sources, and we're just hearing things like an official with the department.
Yeah, it's like he picked us up in a restroom or something.
Yeah. I mean, who the official in the department? Okay, who's that? Is it the head of the janitorial sciences? I mean, come on. So, but it plays into the ability of the media. Wasn't there a time before? Was there not a time before that when you came out? I mean, I know that people have to protect their sources. We've had trial after trial over this kind of stuff. But I mean, if you're going to come out and actually state something for as a representative of a government organization like the State Department, you need to identify who's making these statements. And so the only thing I can think of is people are willing to tell the media what they want to know, or they're willing to pass on what they've been told to tell the media, but they don't want their name mentioned. Because in this day and age, you can be the immediate scapegoat. Just ask Brian Pagliano. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. You don't want your name out there, because if all hell breaks loose, guess who they're going to go? They're going to go to the low man on the totem pole and throw him under the bus. Yeah. Or her, depending on who it is.
I like this next part, John. This says a lot about what you're trying to get ahead of without words mattering, okay? This part where Clinton goes, Clinton, who as Secretary of State, was an architect of Obama's policy, emphasizing the importance of the Asia Pacific to U.S. interests in the face of a rise in China, said Obama was right to cancel the meeting, quote unquote. When the president of the Philippines insulted our president, it was appropriate in a very low-key way to say, sorry, no meeting, she told reporters on her campaign play in between coughing fits. Oh, I just put that in there. We have a lot of ties between the United States and the Philippines, and I think it's very important that we have a relationship, but there has to be a certain level of respect that's expected on both sides, Clinton said.
Sorry. Oh, man. I'm glad I wasn't clicking on my mouse when I started laughing. Who knows where we'd be right now. The idea, though, certain level of respect, that is just what I was referring to earlier. The condescending remarks by this administration towards the president of the Philippines. You can disagree with the guy, but, he's a colorful character. Kind of like, let's just brush this little mosquito off. Not a big deal, He's just, it's just a third-rate country. But I thought one thing interesting, the U.S. and the Philippines are going to reopen 5 military establishments over there.
We'll see.
Let's see how that works, because I can tell you one thing. The U.S. Being in the Philippines right now is not a real popular thing with most of the people over there. Anyway, we got to go to a break here. When we come back, we're going to get to Obama's little trip over to Vietnam, which I think in some ways is even more comical. But you as Americans, if you're not insulted, you don't deserve to be in this country. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
TheConservativeSyndicate.net. All right. We're back. Oh, I had to actually turn my mic off for a minute there. Joe had me in stitches over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to make that a thing. We'll have to get the clip of her, that little coffee thing, and then we can save Joe the agony of having to try to imitate it. Anyway. Now, having said all that we said that I wanted to say about this thing, the general thought, the real thought I'm trying to get to here is that on one hand, U.S. diplomats are trying to emphasize that people like Rodrigo Duterte and officials over in China and Putin, anybody out there who happens to think that Barack Obama is not the Messiah, need to respect him as a president. He's the leader of the most powerful nation in the world. Okay, and the only reason we're still the most powerful nation in the world is because other people just haven't caught up yet. Okay, but we're rapidly descending into a position where maybe that's not going to be the case, especially if somebody like Hillary Clinton gets elected. But the point being is that in return, though, we don't see the same respect being generated towards other people in other countries. Okay, they're supposed to respect and honor us, but we don't necessarily have to respect and honor them. And nowhere is it even more clear as to when our president travels abroad and talks about American people, talks about the American society, and that has led us into all this mess where people now in foreign lands kind of just laugh at us in more ways than one. And Joe's got something he wanted to share with you on this. You got it, Joe.
Yeah. So when Barack Obama first came into office, and he went on this tour. What do we call that tour when he first started? That was the Obama what kind of tour?
It was the apology tour.
Yeah, Obama apology tour. So he started out his presidency with the apology tour, and since he's near the end of his presidency, thank goodness, I think he's just going to have another apology tour. And so what did Obama do? He went into Laos, and Laos is that country right next to Cambodia and Vietnam, and it was that country that we had the unofficial war back when the Vietnam War was going on, and so Barack Obama is having a town hall meeting in Laos, and Barack Obama decided he was going to show the world what he thinks of the American people. And if you think I'm just being nasty or whatever, I'm trying to really hold back right now on what I really think of Barack Obama. I'm just going to let Barack Obama say it in his own words right now, okay? So let me get this queued up here and see if I can't make this thing go.
It's not because that's necessary for development. It's usually because we're being lazy and we're not being as creative as we could be about how to do it in a smarter, sustainable way. All right? Okay. So, any other countries we haven't called on yet? Vietnam?
Yeah, you haven't called on Americans yet, Barack, because I think they probably have something to say about being called lazy from you. Thank you so much, Mr. Obama. Appreciate that. You're calling us lazy because we don't feel like we have the need to take our hard-earned tax dollars and throw them away. $500 million wasted on things like syringe because we're lazy. Okay? So he decided to do that. So that wasn't enough. He says America is just too darn big, and we just are just too arrogant and stupid and lazy. So, Barack, it just kills me to do this, to have this guy here. It just really, to have him here and doing this, saying this kind of thing, it's just,
Great man. Multimedia marketplace.
Here we go. Here's Barack.
I believe that the United States is and can be a great force for good in the world. But because we're such a big country, we haven't always had to know about other parts of the world. If you are in Laos, you need to know about Thailand and China and Cambodia because you're a small country and they're right next door, and you need to know who they are. If you are, if you're in the United States, sometimes you can feel lazy and think, we're so big, we don't have to really know anything about other people. And that's part of what I'm trying to change, because this is actually the region that's going to grow faster than any place else in the world. It has the youngest population, and the economy is growing faster than any place. And if we aren't here interacting and learning from you and understanding the culture of the region, then we'll be left behind. We'll miss an opportunity, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, he doesn't want that to happen. Thank you. We're just, the United States is and can be a great force for good in the world, but because we're such a big country, we haven't always had to know about other parts of the world. If you're in the United States, sometimes you can feel lazy, and we think we're so big we don't have to really know anything about other people. Thank you, Barack. We're just big, fat, dumb, and ignorant, and arrogant, and isolated. Yeah, thank you. And that people don't know about other places in the world because, I don't know, Barack. Why? Because the school system's so great, but the government must run our schools. Oh my goodness! Is that an indictment of the education system in the United States? I don't know, Barack. I'm just really tired of being insulted by this man calling me and every other taxpaying American citizen lazy.
Yeah, well, and then we have, remember John Kerry over in Germany talking about the fact that in America you have the right to be stupid? Okay, so, these are the comments that are being made by our elected officials as representatives of who we are. In fact, we are paying for these asshats to fly around the world and insult us. Think about that. Your tax dollars are hauling Barack Obama around. They're hauling John McCain around, or John Kerry around. They're hauling Hillary Clinton around. And what to do? What? To go across the seas, to go into other countries? And by the way, so what if Vietnam is a fast-growing economy? The country's the size of Rhode Island, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and he doesn't want to miss the opportunity. That's the reason why he wants to push TPP through, so he can be one of the administrators to make a freaking fortune off of after he leaves.
Yeah. Now let's remember something here. Barack Obama was over there at a G20 summit, which is a climate change thing, and that it's all the great climate change advocates are over there. All right, yeah. And I want you guys to pay attention. He used a word here. I caught this.
Yeah.
He says here, in talking about, he says, usually when you see the environment destroyed, it's not because it's necessary for development. It's usually because we're being lazy and we're not being as creative as we could be about how to do it in a smarter, more sustainable way. Remember, we've talked, how many times in this show have I talked about creative destruction? Okay, that is a direct reference to creative destruction. We're not being as creative as we could be how to do it in a smarter, more sustainable way. How is that? Anything but petroleum, anything but fossil fuel, because that is the new economy that he's talking about. That is the economy that is going to grow in Vietnam and other parts of the world. By the way, people who are that participate the least in all these treaties that they have about reducing carbon emissions and everything else, because they don't have a government, they don't have the infrastructure, and they don't have the money to do anything in that regard. Okay, they're burning coal over there. They'll burn anything because that's what they need to do to stay warm. Okay, and so we're not. What we're talking about here is him using another platform to advance the creative destruction agenda that the climate change people want to implement across the globe. And the idea that we don't know about other parts of the world, so what? So what?
So the thing is he can insult every American taxpayer, and I'm watching this video as he's talking about it, and he's smiling, and the people there are smiling at him. It's like, haha, you're just insulting your people. Isn't that great, you?
Yeah,
putz?
and
I believe this guy's doing this. Then they turn around and say, hey, American taxpayer, we must by force make you pay to have illegal immigrants come into the country and massive amounts of refugees come into the country and treat them better than you and veterans. Yeah. We must do that. How's that feel?
Yeah. Okay, guys, we got to go to break. I have one other comment, but I'll save it to after the break here. It's time for the Edwards Notebook. We pay some bills. We'll be back for hour 2. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
If temporary markets, tax credits, encourage investments in struggling urban and rural areas, why not make them nationwide and permanent? Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, in recent years, Cleveland has transformed from an ugly duckling post-industrial dump into an aesthetically appealing medical, biotech, and increasing tourist destination. That came about through good planning and new markets tax credits for numerous building projects, both downtown and throughout the city. As a result, over $5 billion worth of new development with more than 300 businesses and over 43,000 new jobs in the city. When one compares that with Detroit and Gary, Indiana, where a limited amount of redevelopment has occurred, but not enough to yet put a dent in those cities' overall aesthetic appearance, it would seem that by now, Obama's progressive approach to American economics, while Congress has sat idly by and watched, does not and will not eliminate our nation's economic doldrums. Cleveland's example of creating an environment for economic development via tax credits should be made permanent and nationwide. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The ConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right, hey, we're back. Hour two of the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And we're glad you took the time to join us. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. I want to make one other quick comment while we're talking about Barack Obama's trip over there in Laos, beginning his final apology tour as he travels around the world, trying to explain why America is so messed up. And he has tried so hard to fix everything. And, you know, it's just lazy, stupid. I think one of the other things we saw in this article here, remember when Obama blamed the Republicans for the rise of ISIS? I don't know how that happened. But, I mean, because everything Obama did was outside of Congress, right? I mean, he didn't go to Congress for anything. The Iran deal he did without Congress. All of his moves militarily he's done without Congress. So I don't know how Congress is responsible for that in any way, shape, or form, other than the fact that they've done nothing to stop him. Okay, that kind of maybe that's it. Guilt by association, or guilt by complicity. You haven't done anything, and so you're the one responsible for letting Obama do what he did and what he's done and what he wants to do and what Hillary Clinton will continue to do. You know, okay, so anyway,
yeah. Well, John, the man just keeps on going. I'm looking at an article where I don't have an audio clip of it, but Barack Obama tells a group of young Asians at this town hall he had in Laos that Americans are economically stressed and they turn to racism to cope with their struggles.
Oh yeah, that ties in. Didn't they want to do job fairs over there or something to as a deterrent to join ISIS? We'll run job fairs over there. What are you going to do? You're going to hire everybody to be a computer tech? You know, one of them call centers or something. HP's Far East syndrome here. Can I help you with that problem with your printer? Yeah, and gee, I thought the big deal was that all the jobs were leaving the United States, going over to foreign countries.
Well, I thought they were mad about that because Donald Trump makes ties in Bangladesh.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I thought they wanted to. Oh, that's right. That's the environment that the government creates that makes people leave the country because they can't make money here. Rather than, do you think people would rather just stay in the country and sell their products here? I think most American companies would like to do that, but people like Barack and Hillary create such an environment that they can't do that economically and stay in business.
No, I've often, as I said, my comments for last hour here about creative destruction. This is part of the creative destruction agenda. Is that on one hand you have people like Hillary Clinton out there, Barack Obama, and I'm sure others. But I'm going to use the Clintons because they're the ones that have made so much money with the pay-for-play kind of stuff, and they're out there making their deals. And I can guarantee you the companies that they're dealing with and the governments that they're dealing with are people that all fit within this framework of the creative destruction paradigm of the leftists, and that is to replace industries like fossil fuel with hamster-driven turbines.
It's just redistribution of wealth, buddy.
Yeah, redistribution of wealth, which is what creative destruction is. Yep. It's the creation of a new aristocratic class, taking money from the rich, Robin Hood, taking money from the rich and giving it to somebody else and creating another rich class.
Yeah, and guess what? Guess who's going to be the richest of them all? The Clintons, the Obamas, the Gores, those people.
Yeah.
Those people that clamor that we should do this, we should absolutely. You hate the planet if you don't listen to us. Okay, I hate the planet because, I'm just living here and I haven't found a way to get off the planet yet. So, I hate the planet. Yes, thank you. I hate, and I'm too lazy to get off the planet anyway, Brock.
Yeah, well, I've always liked Dennis Miller's analogy, his solution to the fossil fuel problem. He said everybody should be driving SUVs because the only time we're going to quit using oil is when we run out of it. And if everybody drove an SUV, we'd run out of it a lot quicker.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, okay. So maybe we need government-subsidized SUVs. Okay, give me an Esplanade or something like that.
No, we got to keep the government out of it because if you ever remember back in the old days, those Russian vehicles, those were government-subsidized vehicles. They weren't what you would call luxury vehicles.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have that already. Remember the Volkswagen, the People's Wagon. That was a car, nationalized manufacturing by Adolf Hitler. And now we have what they call smart cars, okay, which are they're even smaller than Volkswagens.
Yes. Physics sucks. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, when an 18-wheeler hits one of those, guess who loses?
Oh, I tell you what. It's one of those. I get a kick when I'm out on the freeway. And I'm out on the freeway and I'm driving around and one of those little smart cars pull up next to me, and it's all I can do keep from rolling down my window going, oh, you must be a Democrat. Only an idiot would drive something like this. I mean, have you ever seen one of these cars when they get in an accident?
Well, there's not much left.
No, they look like six crushed cans of a six-pack.
Yes. It's probably really not polite for what I do. It's like I point at it and I laugh.
Yeah. Well, I've refrained. I've sworn to refrain from flipping people off. I don't do that anymore. But it's I just sit here. I roll my windows up and I swear at my steering wheel. Okay. We got to go to a break here. When we come back, we'll continue. We got to get into another subject, the Black Lives Matter thing. I want to get to that, and then we're going to talk about Donald Trump's speech in North Carolina. It was given, what was it? What's the date? Today's the 7th? Yesterday. We'll be right back, guys. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
TheConservativeSyndicate.net. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to TheConservativeSyndicate.net, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Haklos, and I want to encourage you to visit our website, TheConservativeSyndicate.net, and you can pick up this show, this archive. You can pick up any of our archives there. You can check out our 10 affiliates that we're on. We're broadcasting right now or in podcast mode. Some of them are live right now. I think 4 or 5 of them are live. We're all around the country, all around the world. 153 countries, I think, was the last count I saw from the statistics. So we're getting the message out there and doing it in a way that only we can do. That's the ConservativeSyndicate.net. Now, I want to go into another segment here. Another exploited, looked down upon class of people by the left, by even our president who claims to be one of them, and that's the black community. And this whole, see, because all these things kind of tie together. Barack Obama and the people on the left, the elitists, the establishments, I think the leftist establishment is more elitist than the right establishment, because the right establishment they're not really elite, they're just greedy. Okay, but the leftist, and the left side, it's all about control and power for the purpose of having control and power. Okay, on the right, it's control and power for the purpose of making a buck. Okay, that's the general paradigm. Now, that's not to say that there are not those in the leftist establishment that also want a lot of money. I mean, the Clintons point that out very well. Barack Obama himself came in the White House, had reported in his tax returns $4 million due to his sales on his books, has made over his last tax report, $12 million. He's tripled his net worth. I don't know what he's been doing. He hasn't been writing any more books, but I guess they'd say he's invested in treasury bonds. I don't know how you triple a profit on something that pays about 1%. Okay, but that's another story for another day. But I'm talking about the black community. Donald Trump is trying to make his way into the black community, trying to basically coming out with his mantra is kind of like, hey, what have you got to lose? His speech on Tuesday in North Carolina is kind of like, hey, give old Donald and give me a chance. Give me a shot at this. You haven't been treated well. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the left constantly exploits. In the GOP, what do we have? We have people who, for decades, have called themselves Republicans and conservatives, and we have just blindly bought into the message that each election cycle, that the GOP establishment just comes out and tells us, what the platform is, and, send me money so that we can continue to limit government. But we've watched government grow, and now we've watched them sign up in some kind of unholy alliance with the left.
Well, what did they do? They went with the omnibus the last time. They've done absolutely nothing to stop Barack Obama from his agenda. They've let him fund every wish he's ever wanted. So they've done absolutely nothing. So the proof's in the pudding. Yeah. They will not stop Obama. These are the exact policies that they like. As much as they say they don't like them, they're not doing anything to stop them.
Okay, now, we covered on Monday, I believe it was, we talked in depth about Donald Trump's immigration speech. Yes. And we pointed out to you the similarities, stark similarities, between Donald Trump's current immigration platform and Bill Clinton's immigration platform back in 1995. And virtually verbatim, item for item, I'm wondering why the left is not out there leveling charges of plagiarism against Donald Trump for stealing Bill Clinton's immigration platform back in the 90s. Well, it's because the left has shifted. The left has shifted because it doesn't work for them anymore to try to be American and to follow ideals, American ideals. It's now pandering to all the different classes out there, all the different genders out there. It used to be man and woman. Now it's everything.
What did that plan benefit? The plan would benefit the American citizen. These people no longer care about the American citizen anymore. They care more about the refugee. They care more about the illegal alien coming across the border. This American citizen is, no pun intended, a second-class citizen now.
Yeah, and so what I wanted to bring up here, the one thing one of the main points I wanted to make, and we made on Monday when we talked about Trump's immigration speech, is the idea that immigration reform is a recyclable issue. It comes up whenever it is politically expedient to bring out this immigration thing. We've got to reform immigration. It's broken, and depending on what side of the argument you're on, for whatever political expediency you're looking for, whether it be we need to give everybody amnesty to we need to deport everybody, depending on where you're at and how it works for you politically. And it's one of those issues that are constantly, and we use the comparison between Donald Trump's current immigration platform and Bill Clinton's. We're talking 4 decades here, almost 4 decades of saying the exact same thing. Well, I want to talk about the black community in the same way, because this is another recyclable issue. It's one that keeps coming up all the time, and the Black Lives Matter thing has really thrust it into the limelight, and has really been politically expedient for the left to a great degree, because a lot of white people now and people that are not black don't want to say anything. They've been beaten into silence because nobody wants to be called a racist. This is why our Congress is sitting around their ass most of the time. It's because they don't want to be labeled anything. They don't want to be known as anything to the American public. They would actually rather that we never even knew who they were.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, today's their second day back at work from their 7 weeks of vacation.
Yeah. Now, what I want to present to you right now is evidence that what I'm saying here, that these issues, that neither side really cares or wants to resolve these issues. And they use them again, and it'll be 4 years from now or 2 years from now, we'll be hearing the same crap over and over again. This is from, I've got some clips here from the series CNN has been putting out there on the decades. They have the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, as far as I know. I don't know if they did one on the 90s yet, but there's 3 series out there. And I'm taking some clips here from the series CNN, the 80s. And this is a clip about the music, the effect of music on America, and how music has developed and evolved within the American culture. And it's specifically talking about the introduction of rap. And now I've got 3 clips here. I'm going to play these clips, and then I'll identify what they're about, and I'll get Joe's feedback on it. But just listen to this. This is back in the 80s, 1985, I believe it was. We had a new type of music that entered into the American mainstream. It was called rap and hip-hop. Now listen to this first clip here.
That gave life to music in the 80s, for me, was hip-hop, because it took the sounds of the 60s and 70s and brought it to the forefront.
A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through.
The Message was the first hip-hop song that wasn't just a party song. It was talking about what was going on. It was talking about urban decay. It was talking about drugs, crime, prison, all of these things that were hitting these communities really hard.
Smugglers, scramblers, burglars, gamblers, pickpocket peddlers, even panhandlers. You say I'm cool.
When the Message hit, man, it was like, okay, put that down. What did he just say? Pull the record back. Play that again.
Okay, so there it is. The commentary was being offered there by Renee Graham from the Boston Globe. That rap music, now when rap hip-hop began, what they were really doing was, you heard Chuck D from MC and Public Enemy explaining what it was. And what they were doing was they were taking, when it first started, they were taking songs from the 60s and 70s, and they were just kind of revamping the way that they delivered it. Okay, they used the scratchy record and everything. They were actually using lyrics a lot about music that was in the 60s and 70s, and they just they restyled it. It came out a little bit different. But then it began to evolve into a cultural thing about, as Renee Graham told us, what? Urban decay, prisons. Okay, and this is back in the 80s. So they're already talking about this. This was the evolution, or the beginning of rap and hip-hop, was something that came into the black community for the purpose of expounding on the black message of what? Racism, oppression, prison incarcerations, everything else that was going on at that time. Now, the first thought is, gee, you would think that this all just started with the induction or the inauguration of Barack Obama. Isn't that what the media tries to tell us? Because Barack Obama was America's first black president, that all of a sudden racism just resurged and came back, or basically just started because Barack Obama was elected to office. This is back in 1985, and this is what rap and hip-hop was supposed to be addressing. Now, my next clip I've got here for you is comments made by a guy named Suleiman Al-Hadi. You think the Muslims just came up recently? He was with a group called The Last Poets. And he was making, I'm going to play the clip here. You're going to hear a group, white boys, called the Beastie Boys. And the comments that were being made by Suleiman Al-Hadi from The Last Poets in terms of white people coming into hip-hop and black music. Okay, so let me get this thing queued up here real quick. Listen to this.
Hip-hop was our baby. This was our culture. This is our music. We created it. And then here come the Beastie Boys. And we were afraid that we were going to lose it.
You gotta fight for your right.
And then when we started listening to their music, they really were funky. And they could really get busy. So we were like, okay.
The guys only be talking about yourself. How much of a lover, how the women love them to death. You know what I mean? How they can throw down, how good they can dance, how bad they are, and nobody better not mess with me, and all of that kind of foolishness. If they would address the issues being poverty, the issues being not having political power. You see what I'm saying? All of these issues, they should be addressing this with their energy.
Planet. All right, So what Mr. Suleiman Al-Hadi was telling us was that the white boys came along and took rap and they changed it into talking about white things. You know, how bad they were, how rich they were. They can get all the girls, everything else. And that's not what rap was about. Rap was what? It's about poverty. It's about being black. You know, the opening comment there, what was it? Oh, man, we thought the white people were going to come and take this music. This is our music. It's our culture. We made it, and Whitey's going to come and take it one more time. Okay, and so then when white people got in, people like the Beastie Boys got in there. What's that, like a Vanilla Ice? These kind of people came out and started doing rap and hip-hop. Oh, the black community was upset. Why? Well, because you guys are talking about things that don't relate to the black community. You're talking about being bad. Well, what is hip-hop about today? It's about money. It's about sex. It's about bling. It's about everything, it's about everything about that you were ranting about 40 years ago that only white boys had. That kind of stuff. So I got one other here. I'm going to play this clip. Let's see, how long is this clip? I may not be able to do it here. Yeah, it's 1 minute. I'm going to play this clip, and then we'll go to commercial, and then we'll come back, and we'll finish up our commentary on this, because I have a point. So here it is.
The summer of 1987, Rebel Without a Pause comes out. It was a call to arms. It was the sound of anger. It was the sound of something boiling under. Public Enemy literally said that we wanted to be music's worst nightmare.
Public Enemy's extreme politics has meant almost no radio airplay, even on black stations. It's rap for a reason. They call it a mind revolution.
Rebel Without a Pause was heavily influenced by Rakim and heavily influenced by what was just going on. It was really a desperate call to have us being heard.
You talk about black all the time to a multiracial audience. Shouldn't you maybe be thinking about who are the people I've got out here? Haven't you got a responsibility to them rather than what you personally want to...
I have a responsibility to my people and my culture, because my people and my culture have been brutalized and ignored for years.
Yeah, mother standing in the welfare line. The way that you survive is crime. My life is over, so I might as well speak my mind.
Ice-T is the first...
State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? But just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you, and they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Get your panties all in a bunch.
TheConservativeSyndicate.net. All right, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And as I was saying, and have said, and will continue to say, we want to encourage you to visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and you can pick up all the information you need to know about this show, archives, bios on our contributors, everything that we do, resources that we have, we've got it all there, right at theconservativesyndicate.net. All right, I want to get back. I'm going to just recap here what we were talking about before the break, and then I'm going to give Joe the con here because he's got some comments he wants to make. And what I played for you was some clips out of the series, CNN, called The 80s. And in this particular one, what they do is they pick particular topics, and they cover that for about an hour. The show runs about an hour each one of these episodes. And this one happened to be, this is about 2/3 of the way through, talking about the evolution of music and the entry of rap and hip-hop into the American mainstream. And it started out to be kind of just the blacks' way of taking music and kind of just making it their own, rebranding it, kind of making it their own. And then it turned into a movement of I guess, expressing their discontent with the status and the existence of blacks in America today, urban decay, prison incarcerations, police brutality, all the things that we're talking about today. And the main reason I brought this up was because what we're dealing with still today is the same issues that we were dealing with back then. And, you know, I'm not saying that the Civil Rights Act was supposed to fix everything. The Civil Rights Act was supposed to give everybody equal opportunity. But there were those, like we mentioned earlier in the show, the great Reverend Jesse Jackson, the great Reverend Al Sharpton, from the streets to the suites, Sharpton, who took the civil rights movement and changed it into something other than what it was. And that was not equality. It was superiority. It was the black culture's own attempt to get into the business of creative destruction, reparations for being the descendants of slaves and being held back by Whitey for so many decades. And it wasn't anymore about having the opportunity. It was about, no, not opportunity, entitlement. We're entitled to something here. We're entitled to be treated differently. Okay, you were being treated differently before because of the color of your skin, but now you want preferential treatment because of the color of your skin. We had things like affirmative action, which have destroyed a lot of things, including government service, by the way, which is probably the biggest perpetrator of affirmative action, putting people that are not qualified into positions within our government to perform functions they can't do. I can tell you, I work for the government, and there is in abundance out there, okay? So all these things have been happening, and it's been happening now for decades. And actually, since the Civil Rights Movement, probably has accelerated in a lot of ways because of the activists that have taken it over and transformed it into something other than what the Civil Rights Movement was supposed to be, which was supposed to be about giving everybody equal opportunity, not unequal entitlement, which it has become. So that's what it was. All these people talking about rap and hip-hop and why, what it was about. And it was all about the same thing that we're hearing today. Because why? The issue has been working. It worked to get Obama elected, and they're hoping to recycle it and use it to get Hillary Clinton elected, which, by the way, doesn't seem to be panning out quite the same way. I understand that Hillary Clinton does have a problem in the black community. And why is that? Well, we're hearing things like Black Lives Matter saying they don't want to be associated with Hillary Clinton. Why? Because she represents the white establishment. They're not really keen on that. Bernie Sanders was a guy, old Uncle Bernie. Okay, that kind of thing. So, Joe, you had some comments you wanted to make about this.
Yeah, I was, we were listening to the songs, and if you listen to some of the lyrics, especially the early stuff by like Ice-T and that, they were bitching about the government programs left the black community wanting for more, and black community was unfulfilled. I mean, welfare programs, this and that, and it's like, well, I don't have any life, man. I'm moving on. I'm dead already. Blah blah blah. That kind of stuff. And yet, they were left so oppressed. And who did this for the last 50 years? Who was in charge of where they lived? For the last 50 years, Democrats. I mean, let's look at Detroit, Chicago, Philadelphia, to name three, and they've all been destroyed by Democrats.
Yeah, and by the way,
every last one of them, and Democrats and the social programs and LBJ's Great Society stuff, and yet, they bitch and complain about white people are keeping them down, and I hate to tell you this, but look who your mayors are. Most of them are black.
Right. Yeah, exactly. See, the deal here, the thing about politics is this. Politics is colorblind. Politics is exempt from anything other than somebody wanting to get in for the purpose of advancing themselves. That's what politics has become. That's really what politics has always been about. I mean, it's really all been about somebody governing everybody else, okay, and to some degree or another. Now, you talk about tyrannical government and the politics of tyranny, totalitarianism, and things like that. Okay, it's about being able to shape a paradigm and create a narrative, and through that narrative being able to control a mass of people for your own benefit in most cases. Yes. Even our republic started out with the idea of governing ourselves, selecting the people being governed, being able to select the people that govern them. But yes, even at our founding, we had people in politics that were self-serving.
Oh, yes, and it was supposed to be government closest to the people governs best. Now I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about here. Now, remember last year when we had the Baltimore riots? A black mayor, by the way. Mm-hmm. Remember that? Okay. Now, what does the federal government have to do with the police department in Baltimore, Massachusetts, or Baltimore, Maryland? Not a darn thing. You have a problem with the police department in your town, you need to go to who runs the police department. And in most of the cities and towns I know of, that would be the mayor of your little town or your city. That's who you have to go to, not the federal government. So if you have a problem with how the police department's being run, you don't run and scream to Barack Obama and Loretta Lynch or who was I don't really care anymore about who the other guy was. They should all be in jail.
Oh, Eric Holder. Are you talking about Eric Holder?
Say again?
Eric Holder?
Yes, Eric Holder. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, don't go to those people, go to your mayor. That's what you elected them for. And if you're unhappy about the way things are going in your town, you're supposed to go see your mayor, not the federal government. And that's where people have gotten confused about. The federal government is not the all to end all.
Yeah, well, let's look at it. Let's take it up just a notch here. Just give you some real quick examples here. Now, what I mean by politics not being colorblind is that we have a lot of black politicians in office today, not only at the local level like mayors and things like that, but look in Congress. We have an entire caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, for the purpose of serving the black community. That's their whole intent. That's what they tell you they're about.
Except check this out, John. The Congressional Black Caucus will not take a Republican conservative member into their midst. They refuse to see those people. So it's about black Democrats.
Well, I can tell you one thing. And then I want to make my point about the Congressional Black Caucus. I was just reading the other day. Mia Love, the Republican out of Utah.
Yes.
The Democrats are helping fund her campaign.
That does not surprise me.
And it does not surprise me because we knew what happened. She got there, she was going to be the great voice for the black community. And what the first thing she did, she went along with reappointing John Boehner, and she's been slowly descending into the rhino category since the day she entered office. Now they got the Democrats saying, "Hey, we want to help support this woman." Okay,
Absolutely. She's up for re-election. She doesn't have to go back.
Yeah. Now let's look at the Congressional Black Caucus. Politics, colorblind. All right. Maxine Waters currently has been indicted more than once. Currently facing indictment again. Charlie Rangel has been indicted more times than I can even remember. Still being elected to office.
Yep.
We got Jesse Jackson Jr. by the way, who ended up in prison or an insane asylum. I'm not sure which one.
It's prison.
Okay. I think he tried to get into the insane asylum to stay out of prison, and it didn't work. Okay. You've got, who else is out there? What you've got is a bunch of these congressional people that are black serving the black community, and they're all being investigated or they're under indictment for what? For corruption, for taking bribes. Now, I can tell you, I live next to Compton. Compton is 20 minutes away from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you Maxine Waters has done dilly squat nothing for Compton. And she's been in Congress probably longer than Santa Claus has been cruising the world, okay? And she has done nothing for that district that she runs there. But she keeps getting elected. And why is that? You talk to people like, there's the one out there now, the real crazy one, Barbara Jackson from Texas. Look at the district that she's in.
Okay. Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah, or out here we have a city, Bell, the city of Bell, which is right next to Compton. The entire city council is in prison right now.
Yeah.
Okay, the entire city council, all black, okay, from the mayor on down, all ended up in prison for what? Using their position of government for personal gain, selling contracts, everything else, and they got nailed, okay? Giving themselves pay raises. City of Bell, population is something like 100,000 people, and the average council person was making $300,000 a year. I mean, it's just outrageous. So don't tell me that the big message to the black community, and that's why the Black Lives Matter, with everything else that they're doing, the only thing that I think they're really doing right is they're saying we don't want any part of the Democrat Party. Okay, but unfortunately, their influence on the country is not that good either, because as we pointed out earlier in the week, Mizzou, remember Missouri, the big launching of the Black Lives Matter? They're losing enrollment. People don't want to go there anymore because they don't want to be involved in the protests and the violence and everything else that's going on in the names of Black Lives Matter.
1,400 students from last year.
Yeah, and it's just so it's just a self-perpetuating death spiral, and it's just something that keeps getting recycled. We got to go to break. When we come back, we're going to we'll just touch on Trump's speech today, probably get to more of it tomorrow, because some of the stuff he said in this particular speech, I like much more than what he said on Monday. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back. There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. The ConservativeSyndicate.net, the adult in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
TheConservativeSyndicate.net. And we are back. Little breather there, had to catch my breath. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I am your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And I want to shift gears here because all this is leading us into the real discussion I want to have here. I think something that we need to do, something I see going on in the Trump campaign right now that I hope they continue, and that is he is out campaigning. He is traveling around the country and he's giving speech after speech after speech. And I think with each one, he gets a little bit better, a little bit sharper. But that's not the point. The point is he's out there doing what Republicans and conservatives, or people that call themselves conservatives in the Republican Party, do not do. And that is articulating a position and explaining why he is holding that position. You know, I was listening to Jeff Flake. We talked about it earlier in the week. Jeff Flake, the senator down there, the mini-me down in Arizona.
Yeah, John McCain's mini-me.
Yeah, John McCain's mini-me. And, you know, his thing is, you know, he was great at criticizing Donald Trump. Well, you know, he flip-flops. One day he's here, he's one day. Well, the thing is with us, as far as you go, Senator Flake, and I think the name is as appropriate as Josh Earnest, is the fact that you won't articulate anything. You don't articulate any message. We're not hearing anything from you. We don't hear you talk about how things need to get fixed. Paul Ryan the other day, what was it coming out? Oh, the FBI document dump that took place over the weekend.
Yes.
Labor Day weekend, right? And, you know, there was a short mention, a short outrage. And Paul Ryan gets up there, and what's he do? He condemns it. Oh, I condemned it. This is no. And I'm like, so freaking what? So you condemn it. What are you going to do about it?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, not a damn thing. You know, you might as well get Hans Blink from Team America out there to write another letter. Let's write a letter and tell Obama how angry we are. You know, that kind of stuff. They get out there and they shoot their mouth off, but you don't hear anybody from the Republican Party saying, this is why we say what we say. This is why we believe what we believe. The idea, I like to use Obamacare as the best example. Okay?
Oh, geez.
Obamacare. We're going to repeal and replace. That's the position. That's probably the only position with Donald Trump I don't agree with.
Yeah. Oh, I like the repeal part. The replace part, I don't agree with.
It should just be repeal. We're going to repeal it. Period. Okay. But the Republicans, we got our own version of this. No, that's not limited government, dude. That's creative destruction. Okay, that's what that is. You don't want to do away with something, because to do away with it would mean that you're racist and you're bigoted and you want to help the rich at the expense of the poor.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Meanwhile, every other thing is going to making everybody equally poor.
Yeah. And so you just want your own version of it. So what? So you can maintain some kind of power base?
Yeah, so you can put your stamp on the paper?
Yeah. So you can say you did something, and, want to do something, repeal it, and then shut the hell up and get out of the way.
Yeah, check this out. John, I like this speech. I'm going to just cover this one part today. I like this part. This is right at the beginning of the speech he did in North Carolina, right? He's going, change will begin my first day in office. First, we're going to eliminate every unconstitutional executive order and restore the rule of law in our land. Then we're going to begin implementing plans for construction of a wall along our southern border. And guess who else is doing that, John? Our friends over in Britain.
They're
going to build a wall, too. And then after all these people said, them walls, man, you can't be doing that. So there. And then he goes on to say, we will keep out violent cartels and gangs as well as the drugs that are poisoning our youth. That's just the beginning. I'm going to ask Congress to send me the bill to repeal and replace Obamacare. Under Senate rules, that the bill can be passed with 51 votes, meaning a Republican Congress and a Republican president can save America from this disaster in a single afternoon.
Yeah. Now, the one thing you were talking about, the walls, Joe, the walls. Yes. And the article from Breitbart points out the fact that right now, there are at least 65 countries that now have border walls.
Yes, they do.
Okay? So it's not like Donald Trump is starting a new fad. Okay? He's just saying, we got to do it here.
Yes, thank you. And it has been done, and it seems to work. As if you go to the Pope in Vatican City, what surrounds Vatican City? It's a wall.
Yeah. Now, how about Israel? Israel built a wall over there. The Israeli wall, the number of fatalities from terror attacks within Israel dropped from more than 130 in 2003 to fewer than 25 in 2005.
But they don't work. Those walls don't work.
Yeah. The number of bombings fell from dozens to fewer than 10. Okay, but why? Because the wall kept everything out. Okay? And this one article I'm looking at with Breitbart goes on and on. But the point, I tell you what I liked about Donald Trump's, some of I'm looking at the transcript, the very second paragraph. After thanking him for him being here. It's great to be back in North Carolina. In 62 days, we are going to win this state, and we're going to win the White House. This is our chance to end years of injustice, corruption, and betrayal. This leads right off. This is for, we just played for you clips about the black community, decades now, complaining about the same thing, sitting there out today complaining about the same thing, and thinking that for some reason it's going to change because while they allow the same people to run their cities.
And exactly. So voting for Hillary Clinton would be more of the same.
Yeah. So he says, this is our chance to solve all the problems that have gone unsolved for many years. Immigration reform, the black community. We've pointed out to you all week long so far about the recyclable aspects of these issues. For how long have people been saying Washington is broken and controlled by special interests? Now, that phrase, special interests, a lot of people seem to think that they're talking about outside influences. It's not outside influences. It's inside influences aligned with outside interests.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're talking about. That's what establishment is. The establishment is an alliance between inside influence and outside interests. And that's what Donald Trump is talking about getting rid of. Will he be able to do it? I don't know. But here's somebody he says is going to try.
Yeah, well, we know what we're going to get with Clinton. She's definitely not going to do it. In fact, she's going to double down on it, triple down on it, and make it 10 times worse.
Well, because she is both. She is special interest and she is inside influence.
That's all she's done. She's been there. That's all she's done for the past 60 years. She's been working up to this moment.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks. Hey, John, I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we are. We're coming up on the end of the show here. And tomorrow, what I want to do tomorrow is we want to continue with this analysis of Trump's speech. And I'm hoping that maybe before the week's over, he'll punch another one out. If he can get out there in front of the public arena like this 2, 3, 4 times a week and put this thing. Now, Joe, you're saying the debate is tonight, right?
The first one is tonight with Matt Lauer, and then Hillary Clinton will come out.
Okay, well, obviously what we'll be talking about tomorrow then is the debate.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, just a real quick note here. Finance Secretary Luis Villarreal, who is I guess he's a finance minister down in Mexico, has resigned since Trump's visit to Mexico. I wonder what that's all about. But anyway, debate tonight, and we'll cover it tomorrow. And, check our website out, theconservativesyndicate.net. Thank you so much for your loyalty and for listening to us. We love you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hako, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.